Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever been right in the middle of a sentence, speaking English, and just completely frozen up because you weren't sure whether to use the word do or make? It's a super common and, frankly, kind of frustrating point of confusion. But in this explainer, we're going to clear that up completely.
So let's kick things off with a pretty simple question. When you're hanging out in the kitchen, preparing a delicious dessert for a party, do you say, I'm going to do a cake, or I'm going to make a cake? Take a quick second to lock in your answer.
Yes, the correct answer is definitely make a cake. Now, if you got that right, fantastic job. If you didn't, hey, don't worry about it at all. Because for the rest of this explainer, I'm going to break down the exact reasons why make is the absolute winner here and give you a rock-solid framework so you literally never get tripped up again.
So the crucial point is understanding the fundamental difference between these two little verbs. Let's look at tasks versus creations.
First up, let's talk about do. We use do specifically when we're talking about actions, tasks, or work. You can think of it as the go-to verb for just executing an activity. Like, you do homework, you do the cleaning, you do exercise. In all these cases, you're just performing a task, right? You're not bringing a brand new physical object into existence. So, lock in that equation. Do equals activities or tasks.
On the flip side of that, we have make. We use make when we create or produce something totally new. You make a cake, you make a plan, you make a decision. See the difference? You're producing an outcome that simply wasn't there before. So the mental shortcut to remember here is make equals create or produce.
And this brilliantly illustrates that exact contrast. On one hand, do the cleaning. You're executing a chore. The house is there, the dirt is already there, you're just, performing the task. But on the other hand, make a plan. Before you sat down, there was literally no plan. Now, because of your effort, one exists. It's executing a task versus producing a creation.
Now, while our rule of tasks versus creations is incredibly reliable, English always has exceptions, right? So let's look at fixed expressions. These are those tricky combinations that you simply have to memorize because they don't always perfectly follow the core rule. For instance, we say make a mistake. Please avoid saying do a mistake. Actually, that's a super common trap people fall into. And like we mentioned earlier, it's always do homework, never make homework. You'll want to mentally highlight these so you don't trip over them in everyday conversations.
All right, let's move to and see how this builds into real-world usage. It's time to practice.
Here's your first one. I blank my homework every day. Take a second to apply the rule. So is it do or is it make? It's do. I do my homework every day. Remember, homework is an activity or a task. Plus, as we just saw, it's one of those fixed expressions we got to memorize.
Next up, keeping the pace brisk here, she blank a cake for her birthday. Think about whether a brand new object is being created.
The answer is makes. She makes a cake for her birthday. A cake is a totally new object that she created from scratch using ingredients. You produce it, so you use make.
Okay, number 3. They blank a decision. This one's a bit more abstract. Take a second to decide.
The correct word is make. They make a decision. Now, what's really interesting about this is that a decision is totally invisible, right? You can't hold a decision in your hands like a cake, but you're still producing a new outcome. Even intangible, abstract things count as creations if they didn't exist before you formed them.
Okay, final quiz question for you. Let's finish strong. We blank the housework. Which verb fits the chore?
And the answer is do. We do the housework. Housework is literally the ultimate definition of a routine task or chore. If you successfully navigated this quiz, awesome job. Active participation is exactly how you lock these rules into your long-term memory. Before we wrap up, let's lock in our ultimate cheat sheet. Do equals tasks. Make equals create. If you ever feel stuck mid-sentence, just fall back on this really simple comparison. Ask yourself, are you executing a chore or are you bringing something completely new into the world? To truly master this, you've got to apply it to your own life. So I'll leave you with a final thought to ponder as we close out this explainer. Think about your routine. Are the majority of your daily actions just doing routine tasks? Or are you actively making new things that didn't exist before? What do you do every day and what do you like to make? Keep practicing, keep creating, and I'll see you in our next explainer.